Hi Stampin' friends! Tonight we're going to use the Garden Walk, the 6x6 Designer Series paper by Stampin' Up. I kind of feel like it has a winter, summer, spring, fall sort of thing going on. So the winter would be this poinsettia print with these little tiny ditsies with gold and poppy parade in them. This is kind of on either the garden green or the pretty peacock. And then, to me, this one is the spring with these nice pinks. It still has some gold in this smaller pattern, but it has a lot of pretty light colors that I think look like spring, little flowers. Then I think this looks like summer because typically roses bloom in summer. And it has a little ditzy as well with still some gold. And this one's probably my favorite. It has the pretty peacock, and then it has like a lighter shade, kind of a rosy colored pink in it. And then to me, it's either Lost Lagoon or Pool Party, and it's very pretty. Then this last one, this one is white with all of the colors in it. It kind of has a July 4th sort of look. But then this side is a pink and a dark pink stripe. Whereas this one is a fall look for me. It has the wild wheat. Then it has poppy parade and garden green. So tonight I'm going to make 4 different cards because like I said, I think they look like the seasons. I do worry that these start to look a little bit similar as I make them. But I think one thing that the fact that I kind of always cut out the things that can be cut out and use them and add a sentiment, what I think that does is it kind of shows you what makes this particular paper pattern different. So to me, like you can see, because you see how I use it every time, it shows whether you really like this one or not, just in my opinion. So the first one I was planning on doing was the Calypso Coral. And what I did here was just use the ditzy, use Calypso Coral with white on it, and then several pieces of flowers. And you can see that the floral paper has a lot going on with it. And it is one that really, I mean, you could cut out the whole thing pretty much and you'd have a lot. You could make so many of this particular card. So let's go ahead and add our little sentiment here. I think I'm going to go with a happy birthday. This is from the balloon set, the beautiful balloons. And I'm just going to stamp it right in the middle with my Calypso Coral. All right, so then I think it's pretty easy. I'm just gonna scoot this aside. I think it's pretty easy to put this one together, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. Then I need some dimensionals. And I'm going to put it right in the middle here. Not right in the middle, but top middle. About there. Just going to scoot my little things off, and I'm going to put some adhesive on the back. Just going top to bottom on that. And then I think it would look really pretty to have some white ribbon on there. Let me grab this. This is a white see-through ribbon edged in silver. So I think I'm gonna I think what I'm gonna do is just make a bow. Maybe I don't want white with this one. Maybe I like a green or there's lots of choices. Or maybe the wild wheat with this one. So there's that. And then I'm just gonna kind of plan this. I wanna put I have very few of the little white one. So I think what I want to do is put the big white one with green with the green and the coral on both sides, and then maybe this white one with these two on both sides. Now, you typically wouldn't use this one because you typically use odd numbers just for keeping interest. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to just stick down the small one with my regular adhesive, and then I'm going to pop the other one up on a dimensional. Again, for interest. There we go. Then I'm going to do the opposite on this one. I'm going to pop up the Calypso Coral and stick this one down. Just kind of going to put it maybe right there. And then put these guys kind of on both sides. Gonna try to imagine where to put it. Don't want to cover up my happy birthday. All right. So that's pretty simple. And at this point, you could put your ribbon on. I don't know that I am going to love that one. I'm wondering if there might be something better. I don't know. I guess I'll give it a try. It should have kind of a nice light look to it, so maybe that will work. All right, so then maybe you'd put your ribbon here, maybe here, just wherever makes sense to you. And that is a real simple card, but when you need to make a bunch of birthday cards, I think this still looks like you have really spent some time with it, but it is not a crazy amount of work for you. I'm just gonna set it aside. So now, my plan here is just to put either a happy birthday or a season's greetings on this one. And this is actually the back side of this paper that I've just used here as my sentiment layer. And then I'm just going to try to stamp it. We'll see how it turns out. I don't know that it's going to be great, but just to try to stamp a little happy birthday in the Poppy Parade. I thought this one didn't look like it could stand any Whisper White with it. I thought it needed a deeper color, so that's why I chose that. So, and because I just used this stamp in the Calypso Coral, I know that it won't matter if I use the Poppy Parade because it should be dark enough to cover it up. So now what I'm doing is I'm just centering the happy birthday, sort of, in here. I probably should have put it in the middle, and it would have been easier for me to see what I was doing. In the middle of the block, I mean. But there you can see it turned out pretty decently. Kind of has kind of a fall look. And then I'll do the same thing with this one. I'll add my, probably across the bottom here, like that. And then put these guys at the other corner. And I think that is pretty simple. One thing I wanted to show you, this ribbon is supposed to be, or it is, real red. And this is supposed to be Poppy Parade. But I think that this looks great with it. I think that the gold in this ribbon blends so pretty with the wild wheat that I think it really makes a nice card. So I'm just gonna go ahead, and since it's a floral, it won't hurt a bit that it is that it has a bow with it. All right, so what I'm gonna do is run down both sides here. I would close it up, but I was planning to consider using it for this card over here. So we'll see. Try to pick a spot with this where it doesn't really cover up anything fun. So like I didn't want to put it down there, it would cover up that pretty flower. So I just put it here where it looks like it'll mostly cover up leaves. And I'm just gonna go on with a little bit more adhesive, then just across the top and the bottom just a little. Then I'm gonna pop this on here. There we go. All right, so there you can see that. Then I'm gonna put this on dimensionals. I think 4 will work. Okay, then I'm going to put this one across the bottom. So I'm going to put some dimensionals under it where it's going off the page sort of. Just kind of plan where I'm going to put these. Might be a good idea in this case to use some of the small ones. Put them on the parts that are off the page there. Or off our square, our, not square, rectangle. There we go. All right, I'm just gonna tuck that under there. You kind of have to measure this and make sure that you can get it all in the card. It kind of goes off a little bit, but I think it shows up nicely there. And then I'm just gonna put this here. You could probably, really, you could stop there, but I wanted to have a little bit more. So because of that, I sure don't want to put that there. But you could put this across the top. You could even put a little bit more there if you wanted to as well. So I'm just going to put some dimensionals. I think I'll just put them off the side here, and then we'll know that I won't accidentally get them in a funny place. And then I think you can see a little bow there would be super sweet. Let me lift it up so you can see just a little better. I just think that that is a really intense colored card. And I think this is the favorite thing that I've seen with the wild wheat, because I have trouble with it. It's very bright and kind of harvest goldy. I think it looks really pretty with this red. All right, so now for the Christmas card. With this one, I was trying to decide, and I think that I would like the Merry Christmas, and it has some white in it here. So I thought that would be pretty to go ahead and stamp and then cut out. So I'm going to stamp it with my Poppy Parade, and I'm going to go pretty close to the edge because I'm going to cut it out with scissors. All right, so now for this card, I was going to show you this. I'm using the back side of this patterned paper, and you could use this, but I just thought it was a little bit much. It's kind of a lot going on. So I thought I would use this back side, which also seems like a strange choice because it is garden green, but they're both in this paper. So I kind of like how it looks with the garden green and the pretty peacock. I'm just straightening that up just a little bit. So I'm going to put my adhesive down the sides and just gonna center it as best I can there. Then I'm just going to layer this here. And again, I want to get it where I can put a variety or the majority of the color on the paper. So wherever you think that might be, like I like having the white down here, so that's why I'm going to put it on the bottom. Okay. So I'm just lining it up here. Normally, you know, I like to put the ribbon in the middle, but sometimes I like to be different. So for this, I didn't do that. And I'm going to put my Merry Christmas right across there. So, I hope this is one that works. Let's see here. What's going to happen? Oh yeah, there it comes. I was wondering what was going to happen when I squeeze it, but it was fine. Just a line across here and here. This isn't something I normally do. I like to stick it flat down, but I think I'll like it on this card in particular. I'm just going to go almost to the edge there. And this will smear if it gets wet. So there's that. You can see I just did it right along the line here. And the reason I did this is when I cut all these out, I ended up with a lot of paper that I sort of couldn't use, but I had plenty to do the bottom half of one. So now what I'm doing is tucking. This was an edge piece, so I'm tucking it under there. And then I'm going to just put my Merry Christmas probably over here, like that, and maybe put this other one down here. Kind of think that'll do it. All I've done there is tuck that under, and then I'll just put some glue dots or adhesive under here, and that'll be taken care of. And then I thought, since, you know, I was extolling the virtues of this gold and real red ribbon, how it looks good with the, oh, and do you guys know this one is one that has one side and the other side is not pretty. You know, you just start out like you normally would, go over it with the center showing because you want it to be pretty also, and then you just twist and put it through right side up here. See how I did that? I just twisted it. It was super easy. And then Then do your straightening up. And you've got two good sides. You know, I like to kind of have small bows. So you can work on that at your leisure, but anyway, that's all you have to do is just give it a little twist and you'll have it in great shape. I'm just going to cut these off. These kind of have a diagonal slant to them, so I like to cut on the slant on these. And then you could put it down here. You could put it, you know, in a corner, up, you know, like up this way. But I think it'd be best to put it right there, just because you've kind of created a little collage. Then I would go ahead and add some gold. Probably, these are the, let's see here if I can read about them, iridescent pearls, basic jewels. And I think the gold in this is really pretty and looks nice with the gold in this ribbon. So I would probably just put a few bits of the gold here, maybe there, maybe one down there, and maybe one over here. Kind of make my triangle, and then my little flower there in the center. Let's see, I don't know if you can see that very well. Yeah, you kind of can. So anyway, that's my thinking on that one. And then we're on our last one already. So what I was thinking on this one was just not cutting these out, because if you cut that out, you lose so much of the pretty colors that are in it. So I made my card base, pool party, pretty peacock for my next layer, and then I cut this one, you know, to even smaller. This is down to 5 by 3 3/4. And then I cut this, of course, with my favorite, you know, the contours, colors and contours dies. And then I cut this with it as well, and then just cut these side pieces off. Just cut off my scallops and made it like that. So let's go ahead and imagine putting this together. I think this would look really good with maybe some white ribbon or some pool party ribbon. So I kind of feel like there's a lot of pool party already. So I might want to go with the white. So here is the white. It's like an iridescent, I guess it's taffeta. Or it's maybe twill. I'm not really sure, but it's really pretty. It's from the September to December, and I have no idea if it is still available or not. So we just have to hope for the best if we went to order it. All right. So there I've got my bow. Then I'm just going to start adding this on, and then I'm just going to do a little happy birthday sentiment. Now, when I was working on this, I was thinking, I wonder if it would look better to have the sentiment at the top or the bottom and that kind of, so I decided it probably would be best to have the sentiment, like just the one here and the two at the bottom and the sentiment in the middle. So you'll see what I'm talking about here in a second. I'm just going to go ahead and put this layer on and then put my next layer on. And then maybe at this point would be a good time to put your dimensionals on each corner and the center. Okay. And now this one is directional. These little guys are going up and down. So I want to put them going up on my card. Just kind of be careful with that. And then I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals as well. Now, one thing I do probably too much with this die is wrap my ribbon around it and just kind of pull it down in the little grooves of the curves. So, I think this one's a little big for it, so I probably wouldn't do that. And I'm going to stick it maybe right there. So now what I got out to use with this one is the Happy Birthday from the Curved Occasions, which is has the curved labels die. So I need to punch it through like this. So I just kind of want to have a plan. And I think I want to use, it's tough to decide. I think I'm going to try both. I think I'm going to try both the, maybe pretty, yeah, maybe Flirty Flamingo and the Pretty Peacock, I think. So first I'll try the Flirty Flamingo and see what I think. All right. I think that's a pretty good match for the pinks. And then I'm just gonna grab my pretty peacock. Now, Lost Lagoon is probably another one that would look really good with that. All right, that one is definitely easier to read, I think. I'm just gonna go ahead and punch both of them so we can see which one we prefer. It might be one of those situations where it just depends on which you have the prettier ribbon for or something like. All right, so then my plan here was to put my happy birthday across here, because I think it's just a different way. You know, I use so many of the, so many times I use the oval and this with the scalloped oval. I use this one all the time. So I like the way that this one gives us a different look that maybe we're not used to. I would definitely pop this up on dimensionals. I kind of like the pink, but it's kind of the only pink thing on there. So it might be best to go with the, yeah, it might be best to go with that. And then you could put your little bow down here or up here, and it brings out the white nicely. Then I would go ahead after that and I would look for a white, either just some iridescent pearls, I think would really pick up the iridescence in the ribbon. Now you could use your strip, you know, the strips of foam, but I think that these small ones don't take all that much time. And I think, you know, not having to cut them makes it nice. I hate that I'm covering up some cute little daisies, but I think you can still sort of see them here and there. Make sure I've got it somewhat straight. Okay. And then I think I'm going to put this here, my glue dot in the back of the knot. I can still kind of play with that a little bit when I get some time later. And then I'm just going to put some iridescent pearls here and there. It's very tempting to put them in these little flowers, but what I have left there is kind of big. Okay, I've got some small ones on the other side. I think I'm going to put these small ones. And it's going to take several, so I'm going to end up with, let's see, 1, 2, probably an even number, and that'll be frustrating, but let's see. And 7, so that worked out perfectly. You could still put some more other colors on there. You could put some something that's supposed to be peacock, like this iridescent guy here. That could be pretty to put around, or up in the top corner, something like that. Oh yeah, these guys too. This is pretty peacock. That could be really pretty on there. Probably the small ones, I think, but maybe not. But that would be really nice. These are the adhesive-backed sequins trio. Honestly, any one of those would look really pretty on there. So that might have been where I should have gone with that. All right, so that is one. That's our one I consider to be summer. And this is our winter. Whoa, I just flipped that over. Talent. With the poinsettias. This one I consider to be fall, with all of the wild wheat. And then this one to me is spring, with the peachy pinky colors and white and the soft floaty ribbon. All right, guys, I hope you have a great week. Bye-bye.